better give me that money.
Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. I said, hey, baby, I got your money. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry.
Welcome back to Bet It, Bank It, Blow It. I am Jamie G. Esquire the Fifth, and while I'm not a parrot head, I am a proud graduate of the University of America Samoa Law School. Go Land Crabs! I'm here at Magnum Mills to do our own version of an island thing by getting some action down on Week 2 Sunday night and Monday night NFL football games. Mills, how's it going? You ready for this?
I am ready, but you mentioned the parrot thing. I don't have anything against Jimmy Buffett, and I love Captain Morgan's, but dude, I hated Captain Morgan's Parrot Bay rum. Like, do you remember the Sunny episode where they go to shore and Charlie drinks liquor out of a sunscreen bottle? That's what Captain Morgan's Parrot Bay rum tasted like. It was terrible. I did not enjoy the taste of it, but hopefully you enjoy the taste of Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, presented by CZGAP Fantasy Football. You can find us wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, on social media at CZGAPFF. Same place on the World Wide Web, CZGAPFF.com. Thanks for remembering that. While you're remembering stuff, please remember the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. It's very easy, but very important to us. So if you had fun, if you're here, you're not doing anything else anyways, please click the thumb.
Mills, now I'm trying to decide what's worse, Bacardi Limon or Captain Morgan's Parrot Bay. It's
Parrot Bay.
Both. Parrot Bay might be worse than Bacardi Limon. Not a big fan of the Limon, but it's not as bad as Parrot Bay. Anyway, we're giving picks and strategy for Sunday night football game between the Bears, the Chicago, and the Texans, all right? As well as the Monday night football game between the Falcons and Mills, your birds, the Eagles in the house. All odds, weather, injuries, they're all accurate as of Friday, Freaky Friday, September the 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th, baby. And we're getting our odds from the DraftKings Sportsbook. Mills, hit us with the tail of tape for the Sunday night football matchup.
As the man said, the Chicago Bears are heading to Houston to face the Texans Sunday, September 15th, 2024. Game kicks off 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch on NBC and Peacock. As of now, the Houston Texans are a 6.5-point favorite, minus 290 on the money line. Bears 6.5-point road dog, plus 235 on the money line. The game total is 45.5 points. They have the retractable roof here, so no weather issues to worry about. And as far as injuries, wide receivers Rome Odunes and Keenan Allen are both questionable for the Bears, while the Bears center Ryan Bates, one of Jamie G's former Bills, is out for the game. On the Houston side of the ball, tight end Dalton Schultz is questionable, but he practiced on Friday. Running back Dameon Pierce is questionable, but he did not practice on Friday. And center Juice Scruggs is questionable with a groin injury.
Before we get into our picks here, let's kick it off with our overall thoughts on this matchup. From a betting perspective, Mills, I'm expecting a little bit of a lower scoring game here than most people. The points are 45.5, and I'm not 100% sure that hits here. Rookie quarterback and Caleb Williams, who struggled a lot last week. You go back to that game, make no mistake. I know the Bears won. They won because of their defense, like, period. Like, that was Caleb Williams did not have a good game at all. Bears defense, I think, is a lot better than what people are giving it credit for. Much, much improved from last year. Eberflus kind of putting together his vision there. I think certain players will still get there, and ultimately the Texans will win here. But I believe there's some angles in this one, and I'm excited about certain plays, but this isn't a run up and slam the table and can't wait to bet on game for me. But I do think we found a couple of options here.
Well, the people, Jamie G, they like the island games because there's only one thing to focus on. And as far as things I am focusing on, I definitely am curious as far as the Bears offense. They were very bad against Tennessee last week. I'm just wondering how much of that is the Bears not being that good of an offense right now, or Tennessee possibly being maybe a better defense than we had anticipated, or at least than I had anticipated. And then you look at the Texans, man. Joe Mixon, their running game looked like world beaters last week, but the Colts have had a notoriously poor running defense going through last season. So I'm just, again, wondering, is that the Texans are really good? Are the Colts really that bad? Like, your favorite thing is probably a little of column A and a little of column B. I'm just curious what the actual distribution is. And this is one of those spots where I think the Bears have a puncher's chance here. Definitely helps if they have both the wide receivers in, but I think it comes down to Caleb Williams has to play a clean game. If he's not going to be dominant, making huge plays, they need to force a turnover or two on defense, tighten everything up on offense, run the ball, be effective. And you're right. I don't think that's going to lead to a ton of points here. So definitely a game that I'm not expecting a ton of fireworks from, but should be a good football game to watch. And hopefully we can find a couple of those angles.
Well, let's get into the picks with our favorite wagers for Sunday Night Football. These are our favorite non-prop wagers for the game. I'll go up first here, man. I've got I'm gonna do an alternate total here for my first one, and I got under 49.5 total points. It's minus 178. The more I think about this, the more I like this. I just don't know that this is going to be, 30 something to 30 something type game, or even high 20 something to high 20 something type game. I like this one to be under 49.5. Got one more here. I'm going to also toy a little bit with the spread here. I think maybe the Bears defense allows them to stay in this and we get a little bit of a better game out of that offense. We saw Indianapolis get real close last week. They were right in the game with Houston, and I'm not saying the Bears and Indy are the same or anything, but I think maybe they can make this a close game. Give me Bears plus 10.5, minus 188.
No, the man likes his alternate spreads there. And you know what? I'm going to do the alternate thing there, and I'm just going to do what you did, but be a little bit bolder. I have the alternate total here under 44.5. That's plus 106. Again, I like that. Just moving the number, selling away a couple of points there just to get a little bit better number. And I'd like the Texans to win here. We could middle it. We could win both these. You have the Bears plus 10.5. I have the Texans minus 7.5. Plus 111 there. Again, they're just selling back a couple of points to get a little bit better numbers. So I got the under 44, Houston minus 7.5. We're doing an alternate thing, and we're hopefully, like LL Cool J, going to do it very well.
Yes, we are. Let's move on to the top of the props, our favorite prop bets for Sunday Night Football. Mills, send us on our way.
To talk about a guy with a great name, Tank Dell. Give me Tank Dell, 60 plus receiving yards, plus 110. That looked really good in some of the advanced metrics last week. He's getting open. All it takes is one nice long pass here, a couple of short guys, and boom, he's got 60 yards before you know it. Maybe even it gets there in the first half, but I don't need to be that bold. And JBG, I think history is going to repeat itself. Last week, we saw Stephon Diggs hit the end zone twice. Last season, we saw him start off on a scorcher. I'm thinking those two trends kind of come together here. So give me Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown scorer, rushing or receiving, plus 155. JBG, what props do you have for us for Sunday Night Football?
Like both those, Mills. I've got Caleb Williams under 1.5 touchdowns. It's not the greatest of odds. It's moved some since we last looked at this, but I still don't think he gets there. Right now, it's minus 200. I got Joe Mixon, anytime touchdown scorer, minus 160. I think he finds a way. I don't know if he'll have the same huge game he had last week, but I think he finds his way into that end zone. And then last but not least here, I've got my boy Nico Collins, over 4.5 receptions, minus 155. And I will just say, guys, these lines are moving rapidly. If you find something that you like, go ahead and get it in, because they're definitely creeping on the come up here and climbing.
Yeah, and every time you do the Nico thing, I just can't help but think of the old Steve Seagal movie on Above the Law. Nico. From The Neighborhood.
Yeah, dude, it's from The Neighborhood. Let's start to think bigger with our lottery ticket long shots. We're not expecting to hit many of these. That's not what it's about. What it is about, though, is it only takes one, baby. All it takes is $1 and a dream. You just got to believe, Mills. I'm going to go first here. My long shot here is the bull Tank Dell, one of the best names in football. He finds pay dirt twice, 2 anytime touchdowns from Tank Dell, plus 1,500 odds. I can see it happening, Mills. I can see it.
See, I can too, but I just did that with James Cook being the 2+ anytime touchdown scorer on Thursday Night Football. So I don't want to jinx myself by going back to the well here. So I went with just a little 2-leg single game parlay here. Pays out plus 550. I've got CJ Stroud 3+ passing touchdowns. That's plus 270 by itself. And Houston minus 13.5 alternate spread there, plus 208. So you put those together, plus 550. You drop 100 on it. You win this baby, you're bringing home 650. So it's not quite, billionaire money, but it's a good start.
It's a new start, and that's all you need. And last but certainly not least, it's tripod time. Once again, we are back with another three-leg single game parlay to help you build that bankroll quick. After all, it's probably time you got started on your Christmas shop. And I mean, am I right? It's basically 2 days away. Christmas next weekend, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was busy. It was Thanksgiving while you were saying that. All right, Jamie G. We both like the guy. Tank Dell, great name in a great spot here. So first leg, Tank Dell, over 60 plus receiving yards. Then we got your boy Nico from the neighborhood. Don't call him Steve Siggs, over 4.5 receptions, minus 140 by itself. And the guy, Joe Mixon, throwing him in here, anytime touchdown scorer, minus 160. You put those three together, you got plus 550. So 100 beans give you 650 beans, and you can make a lot of coffee with that, which help you stay up and make more bets.
Well, that was so much fun. I think I want to do it again. Mills, hit us with the tail of tape for Monday Night Football involving your favorite team, Birds.
If you were really going to do it nice, you should have done the Britney Spears, like, oops, I did it again. But you know what? We had enough of your Chicago accent. I don't think we need your Britney voice tonight. This is Monday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons are traveling to South Philadelphia to play my Philadelphia Eagles. Monday, September 16th, 2024. Kickoff is 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch on ESPN. The Eagles are currently a 6.5 point favorite, minus 310 on the money line. Falcons are a 6.5 point road dog, plus 240 on the money line. Game total is 47.5 points. Looks like a pretty mild evening in Philadelphia. Temperatures in the low 70s, light winds, a slight chance of rain showers. Not much to worry about here, and not much to worry about on the injury report. We don't really have any starters worried about here. Nothing of note. JBG, isn't that nice while it lasts when you don't have to worry about the injury report too much? Let's see how long that goes on for. That's one thing I wouldn't want to make a bet on.
You're not wrong. And this is your team, Mills. So I'm going to lean on you here. Give me your overall thoughts on the Eagles matchup against the Falcons. Is this favorable for the Birds? Like, where are you leaning on this one?
I think this is, again, you hate to say like, oh, a must win early in the season, but the Falcons look like they are struggling a little bit. I do worry about the turnovers here. I think this is, again, if the Eagles don't turn it over, very confident they win. I am a little bit worried that this looks like a little bit of a get right spot for Kirk Cousins, depending on how bad he really is. Some people are like, oh, just shake the rust off in a couple games, and other people are pointing to some of the metrics and being like, he really might not be ready to play football right now, as far as it not being able to take snaps from under center and doing some things that are really telegraphing their play calls. So I'm curious to see if that gets cleaned up a little bit from them. And the Eagles still have the issues in the secondary. The Falcons certainly have the weapons to exploit that. Wouldn't surprise me to see Kyle Pitts and or Drake London both have big games here. I think they're going to have to let Cousins air it out, try to get some of that play action going. They really weren't able to go to it last week. I'm curious if Cousins will be able to handle some of that this week. So that's his whole bread and butter, man. We move the pocket a little, the play action. That's his game. If they don't have it, the Eagles should romp here. But if it winds up being a close one, it scares me. We've seen the Eagles kind of fall apart here. Hurts turn the ball over. That secondary give up the big plays. So I'm not terribly worried, but this is definitely a game where I think they have to take care of business. I think ultimately they do, but it wouldn't surprise me to see the Falcons put up a few more points than people are expecting. How about yourself? Overall thoughts on the matchup here at the link?
I like this matchup for Philadelphia. I know, you got an emotional
Healthy
thing here because it's your
skepticism. You
team,
have to have a
but
little bit of a healthy skepticism, I feel, to be
hey,
good.
man, that's part of being a fan. I think it's another really tough defensive front for Kirk Cousins. And, he doesn't look like he's ready to escape pressure. Hell, it doesn't even look like he's ready to move around or drive the football off that back foot. So I'm worried about Cousins in this one. I love the front four of Philadelphia, and I expect them to get after it. I do think Atlanta is going to try to run the football and maybe screen a little bit to try to mitigate some of that pass rush. I think lots of shotgun for Kirk Cousins, quick passing game. It's the only way they have a chance on offense. Eagles, I think they're basically going to be able to do whatever they want and do what they do basically offensively. I think the Eagles are going to score, and I'm hoping for some garbage time points from Atlanta to try to hit on some of these. But again, I'm confident in the Eagles money line, confident in some of the spread variances here, and I think there's a couple of key player props that we can hit on in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like a very rich game for wagering, at least more so compared to the Bears and Texans matchup.
I'm with you on that one. Let's go ahead and circle back here and hit everyone with our favorite wagers. This time, though, it's for Monday Night Football. Remember, these are our favorite non-prop wagers for the game. I'll go first here, Mills. I've got Eagles minus 4.5. Another very alternate spread here. I really like the Eagles to win this one. I bought in some comfort just so I can sleep at night, but Eagles minus 4.5. It's minus 154 odds. Really like that one. One more here. I got the under 51.5 total points, minus 186. I think both those should hit.
All right, all right. I'm going to do one alternate thing. I'm going to drift off you a little bit here. I'm going to bump it up, show a little bit of faith in my birds here. Give me the Eagles minus 9.5, alternate spread, plus 137. I like that if they're going to win. I feel like they're going to win by double digits. So the closer it is, the more worried I am. Of course, that's math, but math scares a lot of people. And another little simpler one here, Jamie G. I have Atlanta committing the first turnover. That's plus 100.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Strip sack fumble. That's what I'm going for. I'm not even thinking pick. I'm thinking strip sack fumble. Probably Jalen Carter. We'll see.
It's almost as if it's scripted.
Trying to make it happen, man. I got my vision board out and everything, dude. You should see my vision board. I got nice colored twine. It's a very cool vision board. Some people might call it a murder board, but I'm going with vision board.
It's all about what you make it. It is time, Mills, for the top of the props. This is our favorite prop bets for Monday Night Football. Go ahead, Mills. Do that rusted root thing again and send us on our way. Hey.
All right, I'll do a trace delinquents here, a little delinquent habits thing for a little bit a lower east side from the 1990s. First off, give me Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown scorer, rushing or receiving, minus 155. Drake London, mentioned him before, 60 plus receiving yards, minus 120. When I first wrote this down, that was plus 115. So people like this one. If you're getting on in it, the getting's good. And finally, Kirk Cousins, surprising people, 250 plus passing yards, plus 170. Doesn't matter if they're competitive. Maybe 100, 125 of those are GTP, little garbage time production, hopefully. But I think it could happen. Captain Kirk gets it going a little bit and quiets the calls for Michael Penis for just a day or two, anyways. Jamie G, favorite props for Monday Night Football.
Yes, sir. Got a couple here for that ass. First up, I got Bijan in the house. Bijan Robinson, 70 plus rushing yards, plus 110. We got to have a Bijan day eventually, don't we? I'm just going to keep betting this until it happens. I also got your guy, A.J. Brown, over 80 receiving yards, plus 100. I really like this one, Mills. He's been really consistent. Again, we talked about it last week with their opening matchup in Brazil. I think it was the first 7, 8, 9 games of the year last year. He had like over 100 yards in every game. I think that continues here. A.J. Brown's a really good receiver, over 80, plus 100. And then last but certainly not least, Darnell Mooney, under 3.5 receptions, minus 145. Go ahead and scrounge up a couple of rolls of pennies because it's time for our lottery ticket long shots. Again, we're not planning on hitting a bunch of these. All it takes is one, baby, like the New York Lotto. Hey, you never know. Mills, I'm going with your newly acquired shiny toy, Saquon Barkley, to have 120 plus rushing yards. It's a whopping plus 550. Listen, man, if the Birds get up early on the Falcons, and they're kind of trying to slow the game down. I could see Barkley having a lot of work here in the second half of this game, and breaking a couple off, and 120 yards isn't that crazy to think about for plus 550 odds. So I'm taking Barkley to have 120 plus on the rushing.
I like that. You get a 50, 60 yarder. You're basically halfway there already. That makes some sense. And you talked about him, Jamie G. I'm going to go to A.J. Brown here. I got a little two-leg single game parlay. Give me A.J. Brown to be a two-time, anytime touchdown scorer. So 2+ rushing, receiving touchdowns. That's plus 1,100 on its own. And then pair that with A.J. Brown, 100 plus receiving yards, plus 215 on its own. You put them together, plus 1,100. So $100 bringing you home $1,200, and you're part of the comma club. It's not a lot, but it's the first comma. Sometimes it's the hardest one to get.
Sometimes it is. And last but certainly not least, it's tripod time. Once again, we've got a 3-legger single game parlay to help you build that bankroll quickly. After all, it's basically Christmas. I mean, we know it. We're going to have to spend money this holiday season. Get it while you can.
And if you think he said it twice, he did. You're not having deja vu. He is trying to warn you here. Christmas is like Beetlejuice. If we say it one more time, look out. All right, here. Look out for this tripod, baby. We got Drake London, 60 plus receiving yards, minus 120 on its own. AJ Brown, 80 plus receiving yards, plus 100 on its own. And Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown scorer, rushing or receiving, minus 125. Put them together, that baby pays out plus 575. So 100 buckaroos to bring home 600 and fuck. So buckaroos. So
Buckaroo.
plus 575. So you put down 100 bucks, you're bringing home $675. Not quite a comma, but definitely enough to buy quite a bit of Bojangles.
Mr. Bojangle. It's bow time, baby. I think that about does it. Thank you guys for checking out Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, presented by the fine folks at Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Make sure you let us know what wagers you're playing Sunday night, Monday night football. We can't wait to hear about it. Let us know what you hit on last week. All you got to do is give the thumb, subscribe, and then send me your bet slips. Either winning ones or ones you're hoping win. Get right in our DMs with those bet slips. We'll send you ours back. We can do this thing every weekend, baby. Mills will let you know where you can find us.
So you wonder, do you say bet slips or best lips? You're going to have to watch again to find out. That might be in your head, might be Freudian, might not be. Again, watch it twice. We don't mind. Just hit the thumb once. That's the big thing. Thanks again for checking out Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, like the man said, presented by Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. We're wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, on social media at Seize the Gap FF, same place on the web. Nice and easy to remember, seizethegapff.com. And just like the flaps are, they're easy to remember too. FLAPS. It's so simple. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please hit the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. And remember, we can help you bet it. We can help you bank it. But blowing it is on you.